Alright guys, we're in a new house and it's a bit of a mess, so just going to do some strimming. I've borrowed Steve's glasses and it's a little bit of a mess. The grass is being cut really badly. We need to do this hedge if we can. So it's not too bad, that hedge. It's been done recently, and then all down the side of this path we need to strim, and then this back area is a disaster. It's really high weeds and a bit of a meadow area. Oh no, there's a load of bluebells. They get really slimy when you strim them. So the customer wants us to just strim through this, and we don't normally do this garden, it's rented out. But we do this customer's other garden, and so I said we'd do it. Okay, we'll see how we get on. We're gonna have to bag up the waste. Look at that hatchet job on the grass. Must have been the last tenant who just did their best to cut it down, but obviously would have struggled. It would have been high. Probably just cut it once for the first time this year. A couple of weeks ago, yeah, it would have been very high. Alright guys, so we've gone mad with the strimmer and the mower, and we've got very limited time. I've got to pick my boy up soon, and they want a neat and tidy garden, so we're just going to blow through this path. So I've trimmed down the path and we're just blowing it down, and we'll be able to keep hopefully blowing it until there's just a bit of a soil area, a bit out of the way in the back corner. We've got no bin here, and the customer would probably prefer not to be taking bags to the tip, and also this is going to be quicker so we can get more done. So Steve's on the blowing, and I am going to have a go at this hedge, which will make a bit more mess, but again we can blow that away, so we'll see how far I get. Alright guys, have a look. We've finished. We've just smashed it back in record time. The grass has just been left to grow too long, so we've not cut it overly short, but you know, it'll recover. We've cleared down the side here, down the path, made the hedge nice and neat. We've just gone for speed over finesse, but actually it's not too bad. And then this area down here I've just trimmed down, and there's not anything else we can do. We tried to hand weed that. Look, there's all this weed membrane, so we'd be here forever. I think before, when I've been here years ago now it seems, I did spray it with some weed killer, but you can see how nature just finds a way. We've blown everything back to this corner, and we've saved an absolute ton of time. We wouldn't have been able to do everything that we've done if we'd tried to bag everything up. So there it is, nice and neat and tidy garden. Back hedges as well, side hedge, and I think the customer will be happy with that, and we've got to move on, so I've got to pick my boy up from school. We're over and out. Alright guys, I'm about to strim, but we're going to clear up this sort of messy border. There's some lovely garlic type flowers there. It's from this stuff. It only faintly smells of garlic now, but it's very nice, so might leave those white flowers in the corner, but I'll give everything else a strim down. The bluebells have just started to fall over and it's looking messy, and then we're in the back doing some more fine weeding, and then we're going to put some more grass seed down next time. But here's the grass seed from a few weeks ago. It's working really nicely, really nice. There's a bit of weeding to be done here where the bindweed's coming back, but that grass seed has done a treat. So just weeding through these bits now, and then mowing. Okay, finished the back, so the lawn is nice and neat, and Steve's gone all the way across doing some fine weeding, and just seen they planted some stuff. That's a potato plant, so I imagine they'll be building this up with soil as the plant grows up to get more potatoes. And look, there's some dahlias down there, pink, well, call these pinks, but they can be called carnations as well, and some marigolds. I wonder if that's a tomato plant. It looks like a tomato plant. They've got some seeds in there, so that's tomato, and then these look like they're chilli, some sort of chilli. Oh, and they've got a load of sprouts in there. They'll need lots of water. Don't know what those things are that's sprouting. But nice to see that they've got a little pot garden where they're growing some stuff. Mainly edible stuff, but some flowers as well. We've come across some quite deep wood chip here. And it's not going to be very good for growing grass in, so yeah, just, but it's a hell of a mulch to have. It'll be keeping, God, it goes really deep. Just have to see how, well, we're going to spread it out and see how the grass does it, because we're over here where it's broken down a bit more, it's a bit more like soil. So yeah, look, classic big long bindweed roots. You just leave a little bit of that root in and then it'll come back. So we'll get out as much as we can, but can't get it all out, and then it's just not going to really like being mowed every time. It'll give up, won't like the environment. I'll show you at the front, and I'm going to grab, I've decided, look, there's a hole there that we're going to, goes down, we're going to fill that. We decided not to seed today because the customer's going away for a weekend and they won't be able to water it every day over the next few weeks. So I'm just going to wait until they've got no holidays coming up. Here's the front. You alright? Looking good at the front. Right, I'll go and get a fork. Alright, so it's getting hot now, hot weather, but I've done a bad one on the customer's car. I've sprayed the whole side. With the bluebells, so I apologise, there's not a lot I can do with that as a gardener. Not really a car washer, but bless him, he's turned the car around, so we didn't see it. But yeah, hopefully he can get that cleaned easily now. Alright guys, we're in the next garden. Check it out, it's this one again. And oh look, these are English daisies, but ones that have been, you know, improved. So you think of that daisy in the middle of the lawn. Oh, and there's a pink one. Oh my god, and they've got loads of stuff. Lavender, petunias. Oh, they have been busy. The lady here's a bit of a gardener, and she's done all this. Oh my goodness, this is in flower, looking very nice. Little blue flowers, and then loads of bedding plants along here, like geraniums and more petunias, I think. So it's looking lovely. Oh, and the first rose is out. Ooh. There's loads of bees on this one. It's a nice one, that blue one. I forget what it's called, but there we go. There's our first rose in this garden. It's a nice one. Anyway, we'll show you what it looks like at the end. So we're a couple of stripes in, but I just saw this patch, and this is a patch that we reseeded. I don't know if you can see it. Probably gave it a little bit of a rake in, but I'm not sure if we did. Really, really thick, looking amazing. And then you can see it a bit better. Still coming through at the end, but that'll thicken out, and that's very nice. If the whole lawn was like that, it would be incredible. Alright guys, there it is. So it looks really nice, and they've started using their sprinkler, so it's looking in pretty good condition. Needs a bit of weed killer at some point for all these weeds, but once they're out, they'll need some more grass seed. The weeds take up a lot of room, and then yeah, getting there anyway. So on to the next one. All right guys, we're in the hot stuff now, summer sun, and we're in this garden. So we've got the lawns to do, an edge, and then we've got this beautiful yellow iris. I'm going to go with an iris, and the perennial geraniums are properly out now. They just flower until the end of the season, in end of September or something like that, maybe October even. And they're beautiful, and these garlic type plants are coming out, not the wild garlic but a different type. So the grass is quite long actually, it's really growing at the moment. Difficult to give you a good idea, but we'll give that a mow and a strim and show you what it looks like at the end and the back as well. And Steve's getting his orders from the customer at the moment. In the back garden, and we're going to mow through this lawn, but there's some beautiful daisies in it. They look really nice, and then the buttercups just there. It's almost a shame to mow them, but the customer's ordering me to. Sorry?
Don't forget to tell them to say we're going to have a wild patch.
Oh, we're going to have a wild patch in the back. I'll show you that in a minute. And look, this rhododendron's coming out. It looks absolutely beautiful. The inner flowers haven't yet come out. And look at that. It's a good one. It's actually is it two different ones? Yeah, it's two different ones. This is the separate one, and a bigger one over there. But it's very nice. She wants to wild an area in the back here, in this section. She just said. So we're going to leave that to grow and see what comes up. And this rhododendron in the back is looking very sad. It nearly died in last year's heat. In the UK we had some extremely hot and dry weather for a prolonged period of time. Very unusual, but probably more of a norm coming forward. But it survived just about. And Steve's weeding in the border over there. Just have a look at this. This is gorgeous. Really nice flowers. Next to the rhododendrons, so a real summer garden this one. We'll get the lawn done and show you what it looks like at the end. Watering the garden. She's been putting
slow elderly.
She's been watering the pinks and also the roses, and putting compost around them. So that's what she used to do. That's what her late husband used to do. So here we go, carrying on the traditions. And yeah, just going to strim around this lawn now. Lawn's done with some really nice edging, and then Steve's been wow, really nicely weeding through here with the hoe. He's very neat, and he's using the rake. So he's weeding through, hoeing through, and then giving it a rake afterwards. It makes it look incredibly neat. There's rosemary bush, still alive. It's a survivor. So I'm going to grab the hoe and go on to the other side and get some hoeing done. So we'll start in this back corner where we planted a hydrangea not long ago, maybe a year and a half. We'll get through this nice soil. Nick was his name, the man who would enrich this soil. Not sure with what. It's very nice and dark, and it's still quite wet here. We are in a bit of a dry season where it is all drying out now. That side must be a lot sunnier and drier because it is pretty powdery dry. But we're a bit more in the shade here. which is fine by me. There are some plants in there, so we'll just hoe around them and then do finer weeding once we get further in. All these seedlings coming up, so we'll hoe those out, and if you don't mind, I'll do this two-handed. Customer, I just wanted to show you the lawns actually. So this is her side, and then exactly the same sort of land and grass and everything else that side. So that's the difference between going through all that lawn care that we do and using our equipment and just being, you know, a regular mower. But it both looks good, I must say. Alright guys, so we're at this garden. We've got a bit of a challenge on our hands. I'll show you what it really looks like from the other angle. This is kind of more of what it looks like. It's just the trick of the light when you see the stripes in the grass. But again, lots of daisies that look really nice, but pretty long grass. And our challenge today is to do all of the borders in this garden. It's going to be a big one. We've booked in extra time. This border is pretty good. There's a few loose weeds up here, but we've been on top of this border pretty much. Lots of colour about to come out. These are nice. Really nice little rose growing through it, just there. And these little pretty flowers. Don't know what they are, but some big bushes with it on up there and over there. So it grows big. There's these things about to come out. We've got some, so we don't know what they look like. I think they might be like big poppies. And then we've got a ton of roses. And they do have some... Oh my goodness me, what on earth is this? Oh wow, it looks like an alien growing out of the leaves. Can you see that? Whoa! I've never seen anything like that before. Look at it! Growing straight up out of the leaf. That's going to be some sort of... Well, I've got no idea. Look, it's all over. All over these leaves. What is it? It's going to be some sort of insect. Cool. Look at this one covered in it. It's just like a little red worm standing on its tail, attached to the leaf somehow. Ooh, very interesting. And then a little group of alliums over here, which is nice. Them. And the roses look quite incredible once they get going, but yeah, you can see we've already loosened this soil. Getting very dry now. Bits that have loosened, so that'll be a bit easier to hoe through, but the weeds coming back. And then from here downwards it's looking really quite neat and tidy. And their first rhododendron coming out, so they've got quite a few things going on in this border. That's the same sort of colour. Oh wow, look at the pattern on that leaf. Can you see it? Very nice, just on the top leaf out of the 5. I've seen that in other rhododendrons, it's funny. Oh, and this thing, some sort of Pieris japonica, but instead of the leaves turning green again, they stay this really bright red. And it's a really dark red here, like a maroon, because it's probably so shaded, or who knows. I've seen them a brighter red. Anyway, we've got this border over here to weed through, and I'm afraid to say it's a bit like concrete now, this soil. Oh, but you can get into it.
Yeah, we're getting in there, it's dry.
Ooh. So this border, some pretty gnarly weeds there, but he has done this top bit, which is a saving grace. This border, the big border over there, and then into the back garden there's a couple of borders that we haven't even touched. Very sunny day. Look at that. So I'll show you in the back anyway when we get there. So we're in the back garden, and this is what it looks like. The lawn looks really messy, but I'll show you what our biggest challenge is going to be. the lawn's really nice and tall. Tall grass. Dead bits in the lawn. So we'll give that a nice tidy up, but this, I don't know what we're going to do. It's so weedy. We did have this clear last year, but we've really struggled this year. We're just going to have to see what we can do. It may be that we trim down some of that and focus on weeding up here, because we've got the front borders and in here is the mare's tail. So the mare's tail, I mean, it's growing out the front through the concrete drive, so it's going to keep coming back, the mare's tail. I think you have to soak it in glyphosate. Lots of roses there, and this one over here on this side is going to be a bit easier, but still a bit of a challenge. We don't know how hard the soil's going to be, and it's pretty weedy, but not so bad. And but it's a big one, big border. We're just going to have to see what we can do, and I'll show you what it all looks like in the end. But the front's looking amazing, and thank God the shades come in and the sun's gone in, because it's so hot, and feeling a bit worse for wear. So all right, in a bit. Just emptying the grass box, and you can see the difference it makes mowing some nice neat lines through, bit of a runway, and then a bit messy either side and a bit longer. So we'll keep tidying up. Just at the bottom of the garden, in the corner, I've seen the most interesting thing. It's got the most curious little pink flowers in clusters. I think it must be a cherry tree. They're very delicate and very beautiful. Very small. Imagine it's what the colours of the cherries would be as well. And it's just hidden in this. Oh, that's ivy. Hidden in the ivy, choking it up. I mean, God only knows how much it's choking it up inside. This is not ivy, it's another plant. But wow, this is all ivy, all choking it and destroying it. But it's making a little bit of a leap for freedom, and still showing us its rather wonderful little cherry flowers. Just started hoeing through this border, and I'm just doing about a foot at a time, and it's hard going. It's quite solid and it's quite dry, so we'll give it a rake afterwards and see what it looks like. We've got all that left to do. It's gonna be hard work. Alright, so just lost the hoe. That's the wear and tear. So on that sort of hard dry soil, it's just bitten the dust, but on the inside, I don't know, it almost looks like it's wood. No, that is metal. Here we go. Need to buy a new one anyway. I'll have to borrow Steve's, and we're down to one hoe on a 2-hoe job. Okay, there it is. There's the front garden, and it looks nice. Steve's done a blinding job on this border, very thorough, very neat. Going up there, the left-hand border we haven't done today because we've been focusing on a lot in the past visits, and it's not too bad looking. Could do with a bit of a tidy up next time though. And then as we go into the back, this was a huge challenge and it broke my hoe. Just take that back with me. So here we go. We've edged this. I've hoed through it reasonably thoroughly, and then Steve's come along, bit of grass on the lens, there we go. Steve's come along and and then raked it, and then we've pulled out the big weeds on the back fence. And then over here, this was one of the bigger challenges, so it was really thick with weeds and we were running out of time, so we've just hand pulled, so it's mare's tail and all sorts down there. We've just hand pulled it out very roughly to bring it down, just give it its best look in the time we had for the customer, to feel comfortable with his friend coming round where he wants a neat garden. And then here I've strimmed down to the earth and flinged a load of pebbles and rocks on me, and then I have hoed around the tree and then hoed along this line, but the rest of it is just trimmed down, so we can come back and hoe another time, or we may just be able to control this border by strimming. We'll see, because it's tough. The hoe looked like it wanted to break on this bit. It's quite solid soil, there's a lot of clay in this area, and it's now very dry, the weather we've had. So that's it. And then we look at the grass. I've taken it down another level on the grass and it's looking very neat and tidy. So that's it for our working week. Thank God, I'm absolutely exhausted, but the customer's kind enough to bring us a Pepsi for the last few minutes, which was a welcome surprise. See you later.